Yo, 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 what's up, guys? Can everybody hear me all right? Let's check the sound. Yeah, Ruckus, man. Hey, I haven't been talking up until now. I just started talking. Yo, 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 what's up, guys? Can everybody hear me all right? Yo, 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 what's up, guys? Sorry for the echo, just checking the sound. All right, guys, how's everybody doing? Just drinking my coffee, waking up a little bit. What's up, Two-Way? Good morning, man. Yeah, Two-Way, man. Do you see any really penny stocks moving? I didn't see any today. I mean, there's a little bit, but like the main one, let me see if I can find it, was unless anything started to pop off after I looked. But yeah, I don't see much. I mean, at least none under $5 that look good. Solo popped up on my list. Solo, SOLO maybe. Although a little bit low volume for Solo. DBD. Well, DBD started to move a little bit. Maybe it was a little early last time I checked. DBD and Solo don't look bad. Let's see. CITO's all right. GERN. GERN popped up. I remember GERN. LSCC. So we have a few gappers here, but not many with big volume. What's up, Tech? Good morning, man. Curious George. Honestly, I was pretty disappointed in myself. I had to leave my house, and so I got out for like a $20 gain, and it broke down beautifully. Like, the plan would have worked solid. And so, like I said, I'm just a little bit disappointed that I didn't hold that one through. But at the same time, I had to leave. I had to leave my house, and so I kind of had to exit the trade. But I was still disappointed in it. AMD broke down really nicely. But, you know, that's after yesterday, that is 4 green days out of 5 trading days. So 4 out of 5 green days for me. Out of 5 trades, I've had 4 green ones. And so 80% accuracy in the last 5 days. So happy with it for sure. I'm happy with my trading. I just got to scale up in sizing a little bit. And it kind of just goes to show like I always said, some people hated on me when I started to kind of test and trade the opening range breakout. But you kind of see, like, I'm a decent trader, at least with the VWAP fade, and it's always done me pretty right. And I was just trying to test the opening range breakout and trade it. And it did have, like, the opening range had good back testing results, and so I'm not disappointed that I took my shot with it with real money. But there's a good lesson to be learned there, really, as well. Yeah, I can. Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but Tefs and TradeNet, Tefs, which is TradeNet's partnering broker, has a smartphone app, and I can trade on my smartphone with it. All right, let's see. We got futures higher this morning. Lawmakers reached a tentative funding deal. Dow, S&P, and NASDAQ are coming off of their best day of February. Dow ending a 4-day losing streak. NASDAQ rising 3rd day in a row. Dish and TEVA issued some earnings this morning. Cisco, AIG, MGM, and Yelp are posting their quarterly numbers after today's close. YGYI signed an agreement to acquire all the assets of Chrysos Global, which is an end-to-end processing solution for hemp with a small float of 11 million. GSUM formed a new partnership with H3C Group with a very tiny float of 2.8 million. And VTGN, I remember trading VTGN. It received a notice of allowance for the U.S. patent for the treatment of a depression. So it sounds like a bio drug. Relatively small float of 21 million, so not too bad. Appreciate it, Two-Way. COTY is still interesting as well. I mean, It filled the gap a little bit yesterday. Never really held under 11 though. I mean, it dropped some. Let's see. It eventually got down to 1080 or so. Never really held under 11. But COTY may be interesting. Still looking for it to hold under 11. Gonna watch that one. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's what I'm looking at as well, two-way. I mean, it doesn't look bad. If you look at the daily chart, let's see. It may be a little extended on the upside. Time to pull back a little bit. You know, right around $11 is where I'm looking. I want to see that area hold its resistance. Well, we'll see what we get. ACB, you know, the cannabis plays are all right. They've been pulling back the last few days or so, but ran up yesterday. So going to be looking for maybe a drop in some of the cannabis plays today, like ACB, CRON, CGC. Going to be watching those. Yeah, GERN didn't look bad. I can look up the news. Hold on, let me check out the news on that one for you. All right, so with GERN, so I don't really see anything new for GERN. Let me look at another source of news. So BTIG, what happened with GERN was that BTIG Research initiated coverage on them. They gave it a buy rating and they announced a $4 price target. And so it's at 148 now. It was originally as high as 171 in pre-market, but it did pull back some. But yeah, I used to trade GERN a while ago. But yeah, ACB doesn't look bad. The cannabis place had a pretty big green day yesterday, and so I'll look for them to pull back a little bit. The overall SPY, I think, is up again. Yeah, the SPY is up. Let's see, the SPY is up. The SPY is up about $1.10, so it's actually up a significant amount here. Making for the second gap up in a row. Third gap up in a row, so the SPY's been pushing. Yeah, what's up, Peter? Yeah, man. It was kind of a rough few weeks in January with the opening range, and so I'm just working my way back up to bigger sizing. It's a process. AMRN. We can look at AMRN. Coffee is good. Coffee is good. Yeah, AMRN's up a little bit here from 765 to 83, about 17 cents. We'll see what we get with it. Yeah, definitely looking at ACB cast. Yeah, I just have one of those Keurig machines. All right, but yeah, DBD doesn't look terrible if you're looking at penny stocks. DBD gapping up some volume. It's gapping up from 522 to 693, so it's actually a pretty big gap up for DBD. We also have Solo, SOLO, which is gapping up from 135 to 185, which is about 50 cents. We have CRTO, although the volume's low for CRTO. I don't really like that one. LSCC. Gapping up some, the volume's pretty low with that one. Let's see, we got UIS, low volume, SITO, low volume, YGYI, pretty low volume. We have Activision, ATVI, which is just going crazy here. Big move. Originally gapped down and then bounced back, so I do want to look up to see what's going on with Activision, which is ATVI, if you haven't seen that one. Video game company. Activision's pipeline investment is to pay in 2020 and beyond. All right, so they had buyback and jobs cut offset weaker 2019 outlook for Activision. So they unveiled a stock buyback and cost-cutting program that offset the weaker than expected profit outlook. They're calling 2019 a transitional year. And so I guess originally traders saw this as a negative, but eventually I guess the optimism spread in and it rebounded because Activision originally gapped down to $39.60 before pulling all the way back, breaking the previous closing price and moving up to almost $43 where it's at now. And so there is some optimism with Activision. I'll definitely watch it today. EA's not moving as much as it was. What's up, Nick? Yeah, man, I have a French press. It's just too much work for me in the morning, though. What's up, Enduro? What's up, Scott? What's up, bro? Yeah, I wish I could meditate in the morning, man. My kids won't allow that for me. They're not doing that, man. What's up, North Chapter? Good morning, man. All right, yeah, but the SPY up, AMD up. Let's see. What about WORX? That one kind of stayed pretty stagnant yesterday. Yeah, TEVA, big drop here. What happened with TEVA? Oh, I think two-way did let us know. $2 feet of snow, man. It's cold here in Texas, but it's not that cold, you know. All right, so Tiva must have been bad earnings. It issued quarterly earnings this morning. Same thing with Dish. DISH must have been somewhat bad earnings. What's the stock for that? Let me see. Sorry, bro. I gave you too many chances, man. It's just too many emojis, too much. Like, listen, man, this is a day trading channel. And I don't mind chit-chatting about other stuff. But if you're not a trader and you're just kind of here to talk to me, you know, I just don't know if it's the best place for you, man. Yeah, I've removed him, Shaw. Yeah, like I said, it's just too much, you know. He's a kid, and so I kind of feel bad about doing it because I know he's just a kid, but it's like it's a day trading channel, and if you don't day trade, why are you here? I mean, he can hang out, but when he spams the chat with emojis and just message after message after message, it's just too much. It blocks everybody else from saying stuff, and so it's just too much. I gave him like 10 chances too, but yeah, my patience has run out. I got to do it, man. Yeah, Groupon, big drop here. What's up, Pat? Yeah, there's not many penny stocks moving. I mean, there is Solo, S-O-L-O. There is DBD, which is not really a penny stock, but DBD Solo. There is GERN. So they got a few that are gapping and show a little bit of promise, but that's it. Yeah, right. Yeah, what's up, Todd? VTGN doesn't look bad either. Not the best volume, though. Two-way, man. Get out of here with that. You're trying to hurt my feelings, man. But yeah, guys, we'll see if we can keep this streak going. I mean, the last 5 trading days, I've had 4 profitable trades, 4 winning days, 1 losing day. So 4 out of 5 the last 5 days. We'll see if we can keep it going. Really, in the last week of trading, I think I've only had 1 red day. So we'll hope that the green streak continues. The fade's been in play for sure. Yeah, Tiva dropped big. Bad earnings, I believe. I mean, I don't know. I think it's just the penny stock world. A lot of times what you'll see is that when the higher cap stocks start to run, penny stocks will start to slow down. And then when penny stocks start to kind of go crazy, the higher cap stocks will start to slow down. And so it just depends on what's moving in the market, and it fluctuates. Whoa, yeah, look at EARS, guys. EARS. Appreciate the call out with that one. That one is really pushing up. If you like penny stocks, EARS just made a huge 20-cent jump. Not quite, maybe a 15-cent jump, but a lot of volume coming in for EARS. Didn't somebody say this one was getting bought out? Yeah, DBD pushing up as well. So we got DBD ears starting to spike some. Yeah, Johnson & Johnson buying EARS out. That's what's going on. Up to 57 cents now, roughly. On EARS. Big move there. No, ears didn't pop up on the scanners yet. I'm not sure why, though. It should. Might be a little slow, but yeah, ears not popping up there. But yeah, ears is starting to run. DBD's making a spike up. DBD. I mean, it's got a big range for for a 50-cent stock. I mean, it's up. Let's see. It's a buyout, by the way. So, like, it got bought out, but pulling back a little bit. But, I mean, it may not seem like much, but, like, the range is actually, let's see, from 36 up to 56. So, a 20-cent range, that's like, what, 40%? Roughly 40%, 40-something percent. So that's a pretty big gap. I mean, relative to the price, that's a pretty big gap. Yeah, let me look. I can look up EARS and see why. What's up, Felix? Good morning, man. Yeah, it says shares of Auris Medical are spiking after J&J Johnson & Johnson announced the acquisition of a company called Auris Health. That's hilarious. So, so two companies with the name Auris, A-U-R-I-S. One is Auris Medical, and the other is Auris Health, right? Johnson and Johnson is acquiring Auris Health, A-U-R-I-S Health, not Auris Medical. But I guess just that news release is making EARS pop up, and now it's kind of dropping. That's hilarious. So people just got the wrong one. Interesting there. It's not. That's the funny thing, Ruckus. It's not being bought out. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on, Matthew. People jumped. They heard the news. Oris is getting bought out. They jumped with it, and now they're finding out it's not the right company, and so they're selling it. That's one of the funniest things I've seen in the market lately. Man, that's crazy. So yeah, it is gapping up. Yeah, Algos might have too, man, but that's crazy. Look, now it's back down to 44. Just to show you guys, so this is not the right Oris, right? This is not Oris Health. This is Oris Medical, which is not the same company that's getting bought out. And so it spiked all the way up here to 57. And then people found out it's not the same company. And so now look at this drop back down. One of the funniest things I've seen in the market, honestly. People got a little bit too greedy with it, I think. And I mean, it's an honest mistake. I assumed it was the same one as well. But somebody, you all in the chat kind of pointed me to that it's not the same company. I appreciate the sub, Joel. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. And Martin and Steve. What's up, guys? Appreciate the subscribes. But yeah, man, how crazy is that? That's right. Oh, man, they got you, GG. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I mean, listen, I can't. I think it's humorous how it happened, but I could have easily done that as well. Like, if I was trading gaps, I could have easily done the same thing. Because most of this morning, I thought it was the same company. What's up, John O? What's up, Darren? Ja? Garav? Yeah, man, that's tough. It's kind of crazy how that happens, though. Yeah, right. It's unfortunate. I kind of feel bad for the people because I could have easily gotten caught in that as well. But still funny, still humorous for sure. Do they really? If they do, I'm gonna have to change my link, man. Oh, they do. They have a Valentine's Day sale going on with TradeNet. A Valentine's Day sale. $101 off the intro package. That's cool. Well, yeah, I gotta change this then. Hold on. They do. So yeah, TradeNet does have a Valentine's Day sale. So yeah, now the intro package is $3.99. That's cool. But yeah, look at EARS drop here. I mean, it just dropped almost all the way back. It's still up some. I mean, it was still good for the company, I guess, because it's still up some. You know, like it's still up from where it closed. It closed at about 36 cents. It's at 42, which is not a small gap up, all things considered relative to the price of the stock. I mean, it's a decent gap up. It's like 10 cents or 10%. I think it'll probably come back down eventually. Yeah, man, I tripped over my words, Luke. I was hoping nobody heard me say that, but I did. Karaf. Thanks for looking into that. But do you know if it was the case that would happen if you did own a company they were buying? You would. I mean, you would just profit from it most likely. Like it just depends on what price they were buying it at. Like for instance, if you're holding a stock that costs $1, right, $1 per share, and a bigger company pulls in and buys that company with the buy price of $3, you're gonna gain roughly 300% a lot of the time. You're gonna gain something. TEVA, yeah, TEVA bad earnings, I believe, bad earnings, huge drop, but bad earnings for TEVA. And like I said, DBD still pushing up here. DBD is still up some. Right, exactly, Nick. Exactly what Nick said as well. Some companies stay as their own entity, and others merge with that company. So their stock is gone, and it just kind of goes with the new company. All the value is added to the new company. It just depends. Yeah, but DBD's pushing up nicely. It's actually a decent gap here. Let me get my broker ready. I want to check to see if any of these are tradable. All right, let's see. We got DBD. No. Solo. CRTO is tradable. LSCC is tradable. UIS is tradable. AVLR is tradable. So some of these are. Yeah, but Groupon dropped. I think bad earnings, right? Groupon's down. I mean, that's a pretty big gap down too, from 396 to 350s. What else do we have? AVLR slowly pushing up, slowly. GRPN, Groupon, like I said, down. What else we got? EXEL gapping up. EXEL gapping up from about 2168 to 2298. Activision, ATVI gapping up some as well. I think on a good outlook, maybe. MGNX gapping up. MGNX from 2099, basically 21 to 2235, but $1.36 gap up. Yeah, DBD's a nice gap. Oh, you mean on the daily chart? Let's look at DBD. 1 minute. 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 1 Yeah, I see that one for sure. Yeah, you mean this one, right? Let me see. This is the gap you're talking about on DBD here. The gap up from roughly this up to here, right? Maybe up to here. This one right here. Yeah, it's got some room right there. It's roughly right around this level too, this 750 level, so it's almost exactly here. What's up, Mike? What's up, Isaac? Good morning, man. But I didn't make any money off of it, and if anything, I lost. I was holding a MMA Alliance. That became WORX, which is on the scanners 3 days ago. It was AMMA. That's WORX. But I didn't make any money off of it. If anything, I lost. Not sure what happened between those two, but SWORX. Oh, SWORX. Recent IPO, maybe? Oh, it just transitioned. Yeah, EA has kind of gotten substantially worse than what it used to be. All right, guys, we got about 4 minutes. I'm going to throw the intraday scans up, get ready to trade. All right. There we go. Yeah, but ACB up. Big green day for cannabis plays. I may look for them to pull back some today and look to possibly fade some of those. Yeah, DBD up to 750. YGYI. Yeah, it's up to 808 right now. Low volume, though. The spread's probably going to be kind of gnarly on it, too. SPY's still up, though. It's up to 275. It's up about 90 cents right now. So it's a pretty big gap up for the SPY. And honestly, all things considered, I'm happy to see the SPY bounce back here. You know, I'm a short trader, but I have money in IRAs and savings accounts, and so I don't really want the SPY to crash anymore. Interesting level will be 280 now for the SPY. GERN, like I said, gapping up about 13 cents right now. I appreciate it, Scott. Yeah, left side is, well, right now it's middle scanners. Left is my executing broker, and right is just the charts. YGYI is going to acquire all assets of Chrysos Global, a provider of end-to-end processing solutions for hemp. Total consideration of 16 mil. Yeah, COTY still up significantly from the previous day here. And I mean, really, if you look at this thing has been moving up since the 7th. So about a week. This thing has been moving up. Yesterday was its first day where it closed lower than it opened in 3 days. So watching COTY here, it's pretty extended looking at the chart. And even on the daily chart, it looks a little extended. So seeing if it gets rejected here and seeing what happens with it. Cannabis plays dropping a little bit here. We got about 30 seconds, guys, so good luck. Let's do it, guys. There's the bell. Let's do it. All right, we got Cron. Gonna be watching DBD. AMRN. The Spy. I mean, Ears actually held some of its gains, even though it was the complete wrong company. It actually held some of its gains. CGC, big drop out of the gate at the open. CGC dropping. Like I said, I'm going to look for some shorts with the cannabis stocks today. They had a big green day yesterday, and so maybe some more momentum on the downside now. But going to watch it and see. They've had a few red days in a row leading up to yesterday, and so it's kind of in a consolidation period per the daily chart. If it gets under 18, 80s, if it drops that much, I'll consider it, but we'll see what we get here. AMD, about sideways right now. I need to clear some of these drawings off of AMD so I can see it. Cron spiking up some. GSUM pop. Yeah, GSUM. Big spike out the gate. Low volume, but big spike for GSUM. AMD, big drop. All right, we got DBD pulling back here, spiking up. Cannabis stocks up. We have the Spy up. Spy's pushing up some. Honestly, though, I got a little. I can't lie. I have a little bit of FOMO from not being able to short EARS after reading that it didn't. It was the wrong company. A little bit of FOMO there. That was the short of the year, in my opinion. Spy pushing up strong. AMD pull it back to the VWAP. I don't really like the pattern, though, for the fade. I appreciate the sub, Q. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. Seeing a lot of stuff push up today, actually, so maybe not the best day for the fade. On my breaking out scanner, we have LSCC popping up. LSCC and Solo, S-O-L-O, popping up there. LSCC getting a nice spike, breaking over the pre-market high, and then breaking over the whole dollar of 10. If you look at LSCC here, nice spike there. We have ATVI spiking up as well. Activision spiking up. Solo, a little bit less of a spike, but it's still moving. Like I said, GSUM with a big spike at the open, although the volume's still pretty low, and the spike had really good volume on this first move. This second candle, the volume's just a little bit dead. It may be halted. Yeah, it's halted. Okay, so GSUM is halted. Cron pulling back to the VWAP. Maybe a VWAP bounce here. You can see at 2008. Maybe a VWAP bounce there. It's just about where risk would be. I guess at about 20 cent or $20 risk of here. Reward level would be up at 2034, but looks a little bit too late for it now. Tight risk. So even regardless of whether it works, you can see risk would have been 10 cents here, and then reward would have been at least 20 cents. So yeah, there's the follow through. Would have been a nice VWAP bounce there, 2-to-1 at least. I just missed it, but called it out. I hope somebody took advantage of it because it's already back up there. But a beautiful VWAP bounce there for Cron. Yeah, look at that VWAP bounce. Beautiful bounce. Called it out. I got to get a little bit more. I hesitate a little bit too much with the VWAP bounce is one thing I'm noticing. But beautiful bounce there for Cron. Beautiful follow through. Really quick. Would have been really easy. Tight risk of the whole dollar of 20. So 10 cents. Reward level of about 22, 23 cents. So would have been definitely favorable risk reward for CRON right there. But yeah, I've seen a lot of green stuff today. A lot of green. All right, GSUM is resumed, but I'm seeing a lot of upward movement. But GSUM did resume just now. Resumed at about the same price. But a lot of volatility with this one for GSUM. So if you like trading these big momentum plays, GSUM is kind of, moving some. Yeah, I mean, for me, Cron, the pattern was this VWAP bounce. So, like, if you know what a VWAP fade is, the VWAP bounce is basically the opposite. So you get this big pull down here to the VWAP. That's where I would have entered. Tight risk down here, reward level up here. So this whole area right here would have been my reward target. Like I said, though, I hesitate a little bit too much with the bounce. But this is my reward target right here. This whole rectangle is my reward target. And then my risk is tiny right here. And so good risk reward with it, but just hesitated a little bit too much. I gotta learn to not hesitate as much, specifically with the VWAP bounce. I usually do pretty good with the fade, but with this bounce, I should have taken it. SPY still up. Maybe time for a pullback though. AMRN's been moving up all day. Nice, Pablo. Hey, congrats, man. Good work, brother. Good work, man. Glad somebody took advantage of it. It was a perfect bounce, man. So I hope you were able to take it. So it sounds like you were. So congrats, man. Nice job, brother. I know, Pablo. It followed through quick, man. Very, very quick. That's the ideal VWAP bounce setup. You get in, it's immediately green. The reason I like VWAP setups, the reason I like VWAP patterns is because a lot of the times you're immediately green in the trade. And so they're very stress-free because a lot of the times if you get in at the right spot, you're immediately green and you don't have to really stress about it. It's definitely easier on your mental game, NIO pushing up some. Yeah, big green day right now. The SPY's breaking highs right now, so a little risky to attempt any fades right now, really, for me. Appreciate the sub, Truck. Welcome, man. Appreciate it. ACB pushing up, Cron. CGC. But the SPY's moving up nicely here. You can see the SPY. AMD very, very choppy right now. But yeah, you can see how much the SPY and the overall market's moving upward. All right, so AMD is still in this opening range. I mean, let's see, what is this range? From 85 up to 2308. So that's only about 23 cents. So I don't hate an opening range breakout with AMD. It's just about where it goes. With the market moving up like it is, I tend to be a little bit more long biased with AMD, especially since it had a big red day yesterday. I appreciate the sub, Fear. Welcome, bro. Appreciate it. YGYI, Jason? Yeah, here, let me check it out. I mean, YGYI, the VWAP's just moving up because, here, I can pull it up here. So what you want to understand is that the VWAP is like a moving average, but volume is taken into consideration, right? So as volume increases, as it did here, if you look at the volume, it's slowly going up. That makes the VWAP rise along with the stock's upward movement, right? And so it's just volume increased. All right, pullbacks on the cannabis plays. We are getting some pullbacks now. And AMD just broke that opening range. The only reason I don't like it, and I'll say this, is because the previous day's closing price is right here at about 22.80, right here. And so if it's going to bounce anywhere, it may bounce right at that level, and I just don't want to get faked out. And so, going to wait. Maybe an opening range breakout. It just broke past that opening range. Like, you can see the opening range was here. And it did just break past that, but we'll see if I was right or not. The opening range, I'm still a little iffy with. It hasn't been working great the last few weeks, and so I'm just trying to stick with what works until it stops. But really strong SPY today. Yeah, I'm watching AMD just to see if it bounces at 2280. Not a bad rejection, honestly, off the VWAP on AMD, though. Cron completely retraced. Completely retraced. Maybe if it bounces up to 2012. It's just about where I would set my risk if it does bounce up to 2012. I'd probably want to do 2030. So from like here to here. And so that's roughly 20-cent risk. Just not the best risk reward. It's about 1-to-1 for Cron if it bounces to the VWAP. So just not what I wanted. AMDA, not a lot of volume, but keeping support. I mean, AMD is just one of those stocks I watch every day. Like I said, the last 5 trading days, I've had 4 green trades and 1 red trade. And I think 3 out of those 4 green trades were all on AMD. And so I like AMD for fades. Opening range breakout, obviously I'm a little hesitant to trade it now. But I've traded some cannabis stocks too in the last few days. All right, AMD did pull, or Cron did pull back to the VWAP here. Like I said, though, the risk reward's only about 1-to-1 on it, so it's just not good enough for me to want to get into it. I want to look for favorable risk reward, and it's just not there for Cron right now, at least for me. If you find a better level than 2031 or 2032 as risk, you might be able to take it. But from what I see, from 2010 up to 2032, or from 2012 to 2032 is 20 cents, and then from 2012 down to 88. It's just not good enough risk reward. About 32% reward, so maybe 1.5 to 1. Still not good enough. I'm definitely more short biased, but I'm not opposed to taking long trades either. It just depends on what the market's doing. NNDM. Low volume. Yeah, ADMA needs a little bit more volume, I think. COTY breaking down now. COTY. I know Two-Way was watching COTY for a short. Most likely, I'm just guessing here about Two-Way, but I'm most likely guessing that if you look at COTY in the last 3 days, it's pretty extended. It's up a ton in the last 3 days, and so naturally, with it being that extended on the upside, I would probably swing more towards being short biased with it as well. So, like for instance, if you look at COTY here, it's just up a lot in the last 3 or 4 days, and so with it being up so much, 3 days ago it was at 7. It's at 11 now, so it's just a big move up, probably a little extended on the upside, is what I would think. I could be wrong though. I'm not sure why Two-Way took it, but that's what I would think. Just a little extended on the upside now. And yeah, surprising enough, EARS is filling this gap. Like I said, this could have been the short of the year if you found out this thing was not the same company in time. Yeah, I was looking at 2012, Mark. The only problem is, like I said, like the risk reward's just not good enough for me on this one. So, like you use 2012 as your entry around the VWAP. Risk would have to be right at around 2030, 2031, and so about 20-cent risk, right? So you got about 20 cents in risk there. Reward target would at least be down at the previous low of the day, right around 1990, and so 20-cent risk, 20-cent reward. It's only 1-to-1. For that reason, it's just not good enough for me to want to take it, if that makes sense. ALRN pushing up. WKHS may start battling $1. AVLR spiking. Activision up a ton. Nice VWAP bounce for Activision. AMD steady dropping. And for that reason, I'm out. Shark Tank. One of my favorite shows, Shark Tank. I appreciate the sub, AR. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. But yeah, the SPY's still looking pretty strong today. I'm just not seeing any fades right now, and that's okay. Just didn't see many fades. What do I think of Shopify? Wasn't it down? It was down yesterday, but man, it completely filled the gap. Yeah, this is a beautiful gap fill for Shopify. But now where's it going to go, you know? Doesn't look like a bad fade, honestly, if it can get up to the VWAP. Risk, it's just a little bit too expensive for me, to be honest. But risk, maybe 75. Doesn't look terrible. Reward target of, I don't know, 175. So from 177.75 to 175. Just a huge range, not really used to it. AMD doesn't look terrible if it gets back to the VWAP. Mr. Wonderful. Yeah, man. He's probably one of my favorites just because he's the realist on there, man. Him and Mark Cuban. You know, I think Mark Cuban's a smart dude, and he's real too about it. Cannabis plays moving up, at least CGC is. Cron pulled all the way back a little bit more than the rest of the cannabis stocks. Like if you look at ACB, it's up. CGC, it's up. The MJ sector is up, but Cron pulled back maybe a little bit too much relative to what the rest of them were doing. But it's about break even right now. AMD doesn't look terrible. Let's look at AMD. Pulling back to the VWAP, where should my risk be? I think risk would have to be up here at 23. And so from 22.90 to 23 is about 10 cents. And then from 22.90 down to 22.75 is just about 15 cents. So still not good enough risk reward. I want better than that. I don't want 1.5 to 1. I want at least 2 to 1 on it, and I just don't see it with AMD. Yeah, I think I'm kind of with you on that, Nick. I think with, like, if you look at ACB, CGC, they're both up, you know, breaking the highs, testing those previous highs of support. I think Cron might have just pulled back a little bit too much. It may bounce back up. Solo, S-O-L-O, guys, getting a big spike in volume here. S-O-L-O, getting up to 190. So if you like these penny stocks, Solo just made a big spike. S-O-L-O. CLSK is moving up as well. A little bit lower volume, but it's still moving up, breaking highs right now. Not a bad spread. Looks like a higher float stock. At least what the level 2 looks like. Looks like a little bit higher float. AGRX. Yeah, AGRX spiking up as well. But Solo, S-O-L-O, probably one of the bigger moves up. But yeah, just haven't seen many fades. I mean, AMD kind of looks like one. Kind of. I mean, AMD looks like one. Let me change that. AMD does look like a fade. Like I said, though, the problem is risk-reward here. And I could set a risk of 22.97 or so. But I think if it gets up there, it's at least going to test 23. I think volume's going to come in right when it starts to test 23. But it doesn't look like a bad fade. The risk reward's just not ideal for me on it. But it's not terrible either. And there it goes. Maybe dropping down some. Maybe missed it. But like I said, I'm not upset with myself on just looking for that most ideal risk reward I can. Yeah, I'm looking at Cron now. For Cron, it's just one of those moves that I just don't. It just doesn't look good to me. Like I said, not great risk reward for the fade, and the rest of the cannabis stocks are kind of up some. At least they were. So that's the only thing with Cron is that, you know, CGC's up. ACB is up. And so unless these make a massive pullback, I don't feel comfortable shorting Cron just because the rest of the cannabis stocks are up. And the more the rest of the cannabis stocks pull up, the more they're going to kind of drag CRON up. Yeah, ATVI, big move up here. SL as well. I don't know whether you should buy it or sell it. I don't know if you should sell it or not. Barrios. You know, I don't want to tell you the wrong answer, man. So some nice VWAP bounces in play today. Not that many fades. AMD maybe be fading here, but like I said, risk reward just wasn't good enough for me. I mean, Cron is dropping. Cron looked like, looking at it now, it didn't look like a bad rejection. The only problem is that risk reward in the other cannabis plays, you know, so. CRBP fade. Yeah, for me, it's just not quite up there yet. It's got to get up to here to fade. But I see the pattern. I mean, even if you didn't want to trade a fade on it, you could set a risk from here of 860, 20 cents. Reward level about 20 cents, so about 1 to 1. Not great, not terrible. Nice, Scott. Good job, brother. DBD's actually up there to the VWAP as well. I can't trade this one, but it's up there. SPY pulling back to the VWAP too. What's up, Tiny? Yeah, happy Wednesday to you as well. Solo pulling back here after that big spike. Right. I mean, I'd rather miss out on a trade than have a losing trade, and so it's okay. I mean, a lot of people feel the need to trade every day. I don't want to get into that habit. You know, I don't have to trade every day, and I'm just looking for favorable setups with good risk reward. If I don't see any, that's fine. You know. Thus far, I haven't had any losing days this week, and so I'm just trying to get in the most favorable setups possible. Exactly, Mark. That's exactly right, man. I mean, sometimes it'll work if it's stair steps, but I don't like it as much when it's stair steps. I like it much more, like Mark says, when it's a quick spike up and then a quick rejection back down. That's when you get that instant green trade. Those are the ones I like. But everybody's a little bit different. But if it consolidates too much and then finally breaks highs and moves up, I don't like it as much. You know, If it stair steps, it's got a little bit more momentum to continue pushing up, I think. And so for that reason, I'm out. PTX pop two-way. Yeah, look at PTX. It did get a spike. Look at PTX go here. PTX popping up to 155. It looks halted. So yeah, PTX halted, guys. It's up to 155. Big move. A lot of volume came in the last 2 minutes. So big move up. Whoa, yeah, look at Tiva go, man. This one's filling the gap on the upside. Big move up here. When a stock is halted, it just means they halt trading on it for a certain amount of times. A lot of times it's either 5, 10, or maybe 15 minutes. It just depends on the halt. But a lot of the times when a stock gets halted, it's because the volume's so crazy in such a short period of time. They halt the stock and then it resumes a few minutes later. A lot of the times if it's moving up when it gets halted, it'll gap up. But not always. I think GSUM was halted this morning. I don't think it gapped up some. But yeah, GSUM was halted and never ran anymore. Just kind of filled back down. So it was halted right here. Cron just very rangy today. If you look at Cron, it's been in this range for a while. Very obvious range though. That's the good thing. I mean, I know I have a scanner on Trade Ideas that's a halted scanner. It tells you when stocks are halted. Yeah, I looked at COTY two-way. It's just kind of a sideways consolidation for sure. Volume just dried up. CGC pulling back, so some of the cannabis plays are pulling back some here. You see CGC pulling back some to the VWAP, ACB doing the same. So we might get a bigger drop in Cron. A little bit of a triangle forming here for CRON. We'll see if it follows through and stays in that range. But the SPY's pulling back as well. It's testing the VWAP. Whoa, look at this drop on AMRN, guys. Look at this drop. Huge drop for AMRN. What's up, Track Racer? He's talking about the S&P 500, Nick, I think. But yeah, look at this drop on AMRN. Big drop. But yeah, we'll see if Cron continues to follow this trend line here. Yeah, UIS moving up. CGC maybe bouncing at the VWAP. I think a lot of it is following the SPY a certain amount, I think. MRO been pulling up all day. MRO. PTX still halted. About a 6-cent risk here for ACB. A little too late though. About a 10-cent reward. So almost 2-to-1 for that bounce on ACB. It's too late for it though. Appreciate the sub, Noel. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. Also, GQ, Nick. Thanks, bro. Appreciate the subs, guys. All right, so PTX is resumed. PTX, it did resume here. Resumed about 5 cents higher, so it did gap up a little bit, but it's pulling back immediately now. A lot of people are going to start covering since the halt is resumed. And so it may pull back bigger here. Yeah, there it goes. SPY still kind of sitting right around the VWAP. CGC bouncing back up a little bit. May drag Cron up there. Yeah, small loss. Two-way. Don't stress it, brother. EJ, it depends. I mean, some stocks have bigger ranges, and so you're going to have a little bit more range to take advantage of. Some of them have smaller ranges. If the stock has a smaller range, you're going to have to use bigger share size to get a significant gain from it. It just depends on the range of the stock. But yeah, with Cron, I'm just watching this downward trend line here to see if it follows it in the overall cannabis cannabis sector. But you can see this downward trend line kind of forming here. We'll see what happens. Oh yeah, so you're good, two-way. PTX getting a big spike up here. Look at PTX go. So it was halted, resumed, and look at this move up. It may get halted again. I think it might get halted again right here for PTX. Looks like it. Let's see. Is it halted? Yep, there it goes. Halted again. PTX halted again. Called it out. I could see it. Level 2 just froze. And so, yeah, look at this downward trend line forming. It all depends. A lot of the times I mostly do the wicks, but it all depends. But yeah, you can see it's following this downward trend line now. Very rangy for Cron. I'm not in Netflix, Giorgio. But yeah, PTI pulling up huge, getting halted again. Second halt of the day for PTI, or PTX. So crazy move there. SPY dropping below the VWAP as well. Yeah, Kron. Hey, man. Kron's in that range. It's following that downward trend line. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, now we'll just see if Kron, what it does at this 1990 level. Big support level here, right around 1990. So we'll just see if Kron tests it. Ideally, I mean, it looks like a triangle pattern now. Kind of did Mitch's favorite thing, where the rule of three, up one, down one, up two, down two, up three, down three. And so we'll see what happens here. Ideally, it would have to break 1990 if you're looking for a short and hold. But SPY rebounding some, so we might get a rebound here on Kron back up to that trend line. We'll see if it holds. But yeah, PTX is halted again. I'm going to look up the news on PTX to see what's going on with it, because this is a massive, massive spike. I don't see any new news for PTX. Let me look at a different method. If you know what's going on with PTX, let me know. All I see is that it's a circuit breaker volatility halt. But it's not showing why it's actually doing this. Maybe a pump. All right, so there's the break under 1990 on Kron. Hey, let me know how that goes, AZ. But yeah, look at this breakdown here. On Kron, there it goes. Broke under that major support level, had this triangle wedge forming here, and broke down really nicely from it. I'd be looking at it to go down to 65 or so. Previous day's closing price right around here. So filled the gap on the way down. Like I said, I could see this is the level I would look at now. Didn't really fall into any of the patterns I typically prefer. But a nice move there. Paul said, just tuned in for the first time. What platform are you running? I'm in North Idaho. Wonder what the lag time is. New at trading. For the stream, the lag time is only about 10-15 seconds. With the market, I mean, this is live, trading. But it's only about 10-15 seconds for the stream. But welcome, brother. Happy to have you here, man. PTX did resume. So, pulled back on the second halt. We'll see, though. I mean, interesting level there for sure. SPY breaking under, so we might see some other stocks start to wash now. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of what I was looking at. Siesta. You can see the downward trend line here, putting in lower highs until it finally broke. Like I said, though, I mean, I think this was the most obvious level for a bounce because it's right around the previous day's closing price. Right here. So, was right about that. There's the bounce. Previous day's closing price. Yeah, at this point with Kron, it's just about whether it actually holds this 1990 level as resistance now. That was major support with Kron at 1990. And so now at this point, the evolution in the trade, so to speak, is that if it holds that resistance at 1990 now and then pulls back down, the only reason I don't like it is because it's effectively filled the gap already. I was about a cent or two off with this. It's actually right here where the previous day's closing price, because if you extend it to the left, it goes right to where it closed the previous day. And so that's usually a major support and resistance area. And you can see that's exactly where Kron bounced off of here. And so it's effectively filled the gap at that point once it reaches this line. And so again, the next kind of evolution in the trade is whether it actually holds this big support level it had at 1990 right here as resistance. If it can hold that level as resistance and then move back down to test those lows at 1970 where the previous day's closing price was, it looks a little bit better. But for me, I mean, that's what I'm kind of looking at. Look, Hero, I'll unban you, man, but I'll give you a rule that you have to follow. You can only talk about trading. No bugging me to try to get you to say, hey, none of that stuff. I'll unban you, but you can only talk about trading, and you are not allowed to use any emojis. Under those two rules, I'll unban you, but if you break one of them, you're gone, man. I'm sorry. It's just, like somebody said, it's a distraction. You know, we're trying to trade here, you know. Yeah, PTX pulling back up, breaking those highs here. And again, Kron's testing that 1990 level now, just broke over it. And so I think that's the big level here that we have to watch, is 1990, and see if this level holds now. Maybe $20 as well for the whole dollar. All right, so Kron's still consolidating right around 1990. Really broke it here. So, like I said, I don't like it as much now. It could pull back. We'll look at $20, see if it's still following that upward trend line right around 20. That doesn't look terrible. But, you know, it broke over 1990. That's the level I wanted to see it hold under if I was going to consider shorting it. Oh, no, you're good, Shin. Sorry, man. I'll check it out. IMGN. Yeah, sorry, brother. We got a bunch of people here today. We got almost 300 people, so it's hard to keep track of all the comments. But yeah, IMGN is pushing up here. It was pretty low volume most of the day. Volume's still really low. That's the only reason I don't like IMGN. It is pushing up, but the volume's pretty low. Yeah, I don't see any news on PTX either two-way. I looked it up on Thinkorswim and on Webull, and I couldn't find any news release on PTX. And so when I see that, it's usually a pump. I'm usually guessing it's just a pump. Somebody in the company's pumping it up. Maybe a chat room somewhere, I don't know. But most likely a pump is what I'm guessing. Yeah, YGYI does look like a short squeeze. Yeah, for which one? Kron, Jason? Yeah, there goes Kron. Like I said, maybe $20 now, but it's dead to me. Nice follow through of that triangle though, but what's up, Eric? What's up, brother? Good morning, man. Yeah, like I said, I'll unblock your other one. Yeah. Hero, man, you used an emoji, but you did delete it, so I'll let it go. PTX is a stock, right? PTX is a stock. John, I said it was mixed reactions on Kron, and it's now a good short. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, for me, the way I trade, which is I usually try to take advantage of ranges a lot of the time with a VWAP fade or so. Um, at this point, like, Kron already filled the gap, and so I'm just not interested in trading it. I mean, I would be short biased with it for sure now, but down here, like the previous day's closing price is so significant with a lot of these because once it reaches that price, it effectively fills the gap, right? So like you can see, I drew this line. I originally drew it down here at 65, but the point still remains that the previous day's closing price is such a big level that it never really broke it. And so right now it's still kind of range bound, right? It's got this range up here in between 2020 and 1965, 1970. And so it's just in that range. If I was going to trade it, I would just try to take advantage of that range somehow. But it doesn't really fall into any of the patterns I like. It's pulling back to the VWAP, and it would have a tight risk up at 2020. So that doesn't look terrible, but it's just not anything I would trade at this point. What broker are you using, North North? PTX target 225. Let's look at the daily chart. Yeah, 230. 230 looks reasonable. So yeah, 225, not bad. Yeah, it just depends on what kind of. Are you using limit orders, North chapter? Are you using market orders? Limit orders are going to be harder to get filled, but you're ultimately going to be protected more and have a safer price. Market orders, you'll get filled instantly, but you're not going to be as protected. You might get a worse fill, basically. SPY bouncing back over the VWAP. Limits usually, yeah, I mean, with limits, what I usually do to get filled at decent spots is so for instance, if I'm going long, I usually try to hit the ask on limits. Like if so, I would click the ask right now. Cron 1998. I'm not saying go long in Cron. I'm just saying if I wanted to go long, I would try to get in with an ask limit price, and if I was going short, I'd try to get in. Or if I sorry, that's backwards. If I was going long, I would try to get in on the bid. It's gonna be worse than the ask, but you're gonna get filled usually a little bit quicker. If I was going short, I would try to get in on the ask. And so it just depends on if you're going long or short. But that's usually how you get protected fills for the most part without having to use a market order. All right, Hero. Have a good day, brother. Yeah, man. I'm happy to help, man. It's just busy right now, bro. Are you still in COTY two-way? Yeah, market orders will get you instant fills, but if you're using a regular conventional broker, you're not going to be protected with the market order. You know, market makers can fill you wherever they want with a market order, where like a limit order, you have defined parameters that they have to stick with. So like market orders are less safe in my opinion. I use market orders on TradeNet and TEFs, but it's not a conventional broker, and so it's a little bit different, but it's all subjective. It's all your risk tolerance and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty choppy. I don't blame you, two-way. KC, what's up, KC? What's up, brother? When selling, are you doing a stop loss limit? No. So I don't. People are kind of torn on this, but I don't use hard stops. Too many times I get stopped out by 1 cent, and so I like to let it test my risk level a little bit more. And some people might disagree with that, but that's just the way I like to do it. But yeah, I don't use hard stops. I just when it starts to test my risk area, I just kind of hover over the cover button. TradeNet offers limit orders, but you're ultimately going to get a worse fill with them, right? They implemented a 3 cent rule, so if you use limit orders, you're going to get filled at least 3 cents above or below your price. Market orders usually give me pretty decent fills with market orders specifically, but it all depends on the spread, the range, how many shares. Right, 100% track racer. I mean, I'm not necessarily opposed to market orders. Like I said, it's all subjective, man. If it works for you, more power to you. I'm not going to hate on anything. One thing you'll learn in the market is that even if you don't agree with the strategy, it doesn't mean that's wrong. It doesn't mean that strategy's wrong. Or even if you don't trade a certain way, it doesn't mean that way is wrong. Because if a trader can make it work, a trader can make it work. I'm not going to judge anybody for doing anything in the market. Unless they're just acting really crazy, and that's one of the things, like, as you mature as a trader, you kind of understand that, like, everybody sees things differently, and if you can make it work, you can make it work. I'm not going to judge anybody for trading differently than me. I think that's too narrow-minded to say. What's up, Shiz? Hey, welcome, brother. Yeah, no, for sure. I understood that, track racer. Yeah, no, I didn't take it personally, man. Like I said, I use market orders on TradeNet, so I can't say anything. I wish I could two-way, man. I got kids, bro. I got kids, man. I got kids. I got work. I do a lot of different stuff, man. I do this YouTube channel. We got our website. We do the classes. I'm a real estate agent. I have an Amazon business. I have a few other Kindle businesses, so I don't have a lot of time. Yeah, well, they stopped allowing it. They stopped allowing people to call it a stop loss, right? Because they said that was a little deceptive because it doesn't necessarily stop your loss, right? So they stopped allowing you to say stop loss. Now they say bracket order or something of that sort. I can't remember what they want you to call it now, but yeah, I'm still used to calling it a stop, but they changed it the best way I can describe it is like this: the same reason, like if you buy cigarettes, they don't allow people to call cigarettes lights anymore, like Marlboro Lights. They don't allow you to call that because that's inferring that it's a lighter, less harmful cigarette. Same thing with the stop loss. You know, they still have what previously was called Marlboro Lights, but they're just not called Marlboro Lights anymore. So same thing. They still have stop losses, or what previously was called stop losses, but they're not allowed to actually call them stop losses anymore, if that makes sense. Kind of confusing, a little bit off topic, but yeah, that's right. Ruckus and Tiny. Stop limit is what it's called now. Hey Brian. No. I don't want to say yes or no to you, Brian. That's kind of a liability thing for me. I'm not going to say yes or no. All I know is that I'm not an investment professional and I'm not liable for any losses any of you take. You always have to make your own assessment of the market and trade responsibly. For liability reasons, I'm going to say that. But yeah, I wouldn't do that, man. I would just paper trade if I were you and not set up an account until you're old enough, man. Yeah, yeah, or what Nick said, maybe talk to your parents about opening up a joint brokerage account with your legal guardians for sure, 100%. Right, exactly, Droz. I agree with Droz, man. AMD super rangy, Kron super rangy. I wouldn't know, Ruckus. That's rough, Brian. Yeah, man. Then I would just wait until you're old enough, bro. Just the good thing is that you got a little bit of time to practice, right? You got a few years to practice, and that's what I would do if I was you. I would just practice. I wouldn't try to set one up illegally. I don't advise you to do that. I wouldn't suggest that. You know, obviously, I'm not going to advise you to break the law. So I would just wait, man. Practice, learn as much as you can. All right, Flavio. Have a good day, brother. Good seeing you today, man. Hope to see you tomorrow, dude. Yeah, I don't hate that one two-way with PTX. Kind of consolidating here. That 160 area looks like a reasonable risk. That's right, man. Just practice. You got a leg up on all of us, man. If you're 16, because you got 2 years to practice. You know, Spy pulling back some though. Spy pulling down under the VWAP. I appreciate it, Antonio. Welcome, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. I didn't start until I was what, 29. AGRX slowly moving up, although relatively low volume. ERIC moving up, looks like an ETF. ALRN still on the massive volume and low float scanner. Kron still kind of pushing up, very rangy. CGC moving up some. ACB sideways now. The risk reward's not terrible for YUMC, but the volume's low, and it's a little bit lower. I mean, the risk would be about 15 cents reward, about 25 cents, so not quite 2 to 1. Not terrible, but not great. CGC breaking highs. Probably going to drag Cron up some, I would think, but CGC's breaking highs. ACB still sideways. SPY bouncing back some, SPY rebounding some. That might drag everything else up. But the SPY's back up here. Yeah, AMD just broke the highs of the day here. Glad I didn't take the opening range breakout on it. Tyrion, I'm a day trader, so I buy and sell in the same day, usually within 20-30 minutes. I'm mostly a short trader, though, so I profit when it goes down most of the time. No, I'm using Thinkorswim for charts. On TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim. I'm using them for charting. That's what you see on the right. Left side is my executing broker, which is TEFS, which is TradeNet's broker. AQ. Yeah, AQ big gap down. Low volume right now, though. I mean, the volume's not terrible, but still in a range. I'd want to see it break out of that range first. PTX slowly starting to move back up. Thinkorswim's free for me. I mean, I deposited $20 into Thinkorswim 2 years ago, and I've been getting real-time charts, quotes, and everything for 2 years. So it's free for me. You just got to create an account. You might have to deposit something. I don't know. You'd have to ask them. Solo starting to move back up here, testing the highs of the day and the whole dollar of 2. I still think it has some resistance above, specifically at 210 right here for the pre-market high. Hey, well, welcome, Tyrion. Welcome, brother. But yeah, AMD now. We'll see what AMD does here. I mean, it just broke the highs of the day, so now at this point, we want to see if it's going to hold support at this level at 2308 or so. If you extend it to the left, you can see that level does have confirmation in pre-market. It's the high of pre-market. And so interesting level there. And it had some support the previous day right there at 2308. And so I think that 2308 level is interesting, and I want to see it hold support there, which it has a little bit already. Oh, now they have a minimum deposit. I must have gotten grandfathered in then. AMD's still pushing up, though. Yeah, for sure. I am, too. I've been using Thinkorswim for charts since I started trading. It's just what I'm comfortable with. Like, TEFS doesn't have a bad platform. The platform's actually decent with TEFS. But I'm just so used to using Thinkorswim for charts that I kind of switch back and forth. Yeah, but they're saying they changed the rules for it, Nick. ATVI is still pushing up. Activision. I pulled back a little bit. We'll see what it does at the VWAP. AMD ended up spiking up. Hey, maybe, yeah, I don't know. It's been 2 years since I set mine up, Nick. Hey, nice North chapter. Congrats, man. That's cool, Siesta. Really, Mohit? That's crazy, man. I didn't know that. 5,000, man. But yeah, guys, I'm probably going to close it down here. Not seeing anything I really like. A little bit too late in the day for me to trade. Just didn't see that many fades today, which is all right. So far, no red days this week, so I'm going to play it safe and close it down. Like I said, I didn't know this, but Mark, I think, let me know. TradeNet is having their Valentine's Day sale going on right now, and so for the next week or so, you get 20% off the intro package. So you get it for $3.99, I believe. And so if anybody's interested, you can check out TradeNet. I just posted that link there. That jump to click link is the TradeNet link where you get 20% off the intro package, and I think cheaper for the other packages as well. And so if you're interested in using the broker that I'm using, you can go check out that link I just posted, that jump to click link. Also, shout out to Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas is cool enough to let me stream their scans every day. And so if you're interested in checking out these scanners from Trade Ideas, I'll post this link here and you can go check it out. Like I said, they're cool enough to let me stream their scans every day. So if you're interested, you can go check out that Trade Ideas link I just posted. And yeah, good luck for the rest of the day, guys. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I day trade live on stream every weekday morning, starting at roughly 8:15 market time. And so if you want to watch me trade every day, every weekday, hit that subscribe button and come join us again. Also, if you appreciate this free content, click the like button right now on this video. It definitely helps support us, so if you could click the like button, we really appreciate it. And yeah, guys, good luck for the rest of the day. I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Sorry, two-way. All right, Jason. I'll see you later, brother. Have a good day, guys.